What's good, people? It's Jagilsdorf coming back at you with another video. Today I just wanted to talk about the decade. I mean, everyone's talking about it, so I wanted to do a quick recap of everything that happened. So I'm going to take it back to 2009. I was in Minnesota and I moved to New York, Orchard Park, lived in this house. It was awesome. It was like $500,000. So blessed to be able to live there. Then 2010, it was a good year. You know, I looked like this, so I don't know how good of a year it was, but then that summer, what was it? So I turned 13 and I went into summer school, and that was fun because I met Marissa Holmes. Shout out, you're the greatest, you're the dopest, greatest, awesome sauce. I love you, you're awesome. And best friend ever, still talk to her. I know you're watching this and you're great. The comments down below, you should follow her channel because, you know, she's blowing up. And yeah, for real though, like one of the greatest experiences was that, just because I got to meet Marissa and I otherwise probably wouldn't have. So thanks for sucking at school in 7th grade, because then I wouldn't have met you. So I appreciate it. And 8th grade was coming around, so I was in summer school to catch up, and I realized I was behind in math, behind in foreign language, and behind in science, and just about behind in everything else. But I knew like random facts about things. Like I was ahead in some aspects, but the standardization I was behind in. So I couldn't do like typical algebraic equations, but I understood them like easily. You just had to show it to me once and I picked up on it immediately. So that wasn't a problem. 8th grade comes around and I'm kind of starting to go through a midlife crisis. Or would that be an eighth of a life crisis? Midlife crisis, yeah, when I'm 13. And I'm realizing, you know, so many different things. And I'm starting to get like depressed and really sad, as most 13-year-olds do. And with that came a mentality that it was the 23 mentality. It's that I'm not going to think about all this stuff. I'm not really going to let it worry me until I'm 23. Well, I'm 22 right now and it's starting to worry me. But the idea is that I have a decade. I gave myself 10 years. I said I have a decade to figure it all out, to make it all realistic. Because I didn't want to go to high school just to go to college, just to get a job and then work until I died. Because I realized that that was the path that I'm on. That's the path that my dad followed and his dad followed and so many others around me and before me have followed and are following. And I'm like, I can't do this. That's not for me. I want to be a rock star. Like that's what I want to do from the get-go. Like I couldn't remember a time where I didn't want to be a famous musician. Like I was just like, why can't I do that? And everyone's just like, I mean, you can if you believe in yourself. And I'm like, well, I do. And they're just like, okay, well, what's your plan B though? And I'm like, why do I need one? If I'm going to be one and you said I can, if I believe in myself, why do I need a plan B? And that was really difficult because then I was just like, so you don't believe in me. That's why I need a plan B. Okay, all right, now it makes more sense. So then that, you know, totally hurt my ego and hurt my pride, and that was difficult to cope with. It still kind of is, because it's a problem that I have. I don't make money off music completely. I don't make money off of YouTube completely either, but we'll get to that. No, so it's 2010. And that wrapped up with chaos. And then 2011 hit and my parents got divorced. We moved 70 miles away. So all the friends I just, you know, finally got some friends in my life, because, you know, I was homeschooled all my life except for like kindergarten and 3rd grade. I was homeschooled, and then 7th grade was the last time I was homeschooled, and then I went to public school for 8th grade. I'm ready to go into high school and I'm ready for this, and now I have some friends. I had Marissa, that was about it. Everyone else kind of, you know, I mean, I had some other people, but we weren't nearly as close as I was with Holmes. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I finally had someone I could talk to, at least one person I could tell everything to. And then I moved 70 miles away, and that was terrible. And I moved in with my mom and her boyfriend and my 3 other siblings. And but yeah, then I started to do bad things. Like I started smoking cigarettes and doing drugs and, you know, all that jazz, smoking weed and all that type of stuff. And at the same time, I have suicidal vibes, and I'm trying really hard not to feel depressed all the time. And I'm sleeping like 20 hours a day, all that whole summer. 2011 like was just me literally sleeping 20 hours a day for a few days a week, and then the other days I was up for like 36 hours straight, just binge watching, you know, stuff on my computer. And that was my whole summer, you know. And it ended with, that summer literally ended with me making a very dumb suicidal comment to my mom, and I might as well have been tying a noose in my room because she reacted like I just tried to kill myself when I didn't. I just made a comment. And she thought, and her and her boyfriend thought that it was a good decision since they couldn't help me to have someone else help me. So I found out what inpatient was, and that was a fun 9 days, longest 9 days of my life. And the funny thing is that when doctors don't listen to a 13-year-old patient and they listen to the parents and boyfriend of a parent instead, you know, they don't really diagnose very well. So they wanted to give me bipolar disorder, and at the same time, based on the violent behaviors that I was described of having, they gave me depressant or antipsychotics. And when you give an antipsychotic to a depressed kid, he becomes more depressed, so that did not help. But then I learned a very bad trick, which is that psychiatrists can give you drugs if you know how to manipulate them. And that is a terrible trick that I think I just taught you, so please don't use it because it's awful. And it warped my entire high school experience. So now we're at 2000, yeah, this is still 2011, and I'm in 9th grade now, and that just, it just changed everything now. And I'm in a different high school, Bloomfield. Shout out all my Bloomfield people. I mean, I really don't talk to any of you anymore, and that's probably because of me, mostly. But, I mean, anyone who's still in that town, you suck. Move, because that town is terrible, and you know it, and I know it, so get out of that town. Anyone who got out, you're awesome. I don't care what else you're doing in your life, you got out. Just remember that, okay? That town was just so small and boring, and I didn't like it. But then after it was over, I missed it because it was awesome. Because then when I moved into Lancaster in 2013, really? I moved into Lancaster in 2013, and that was, you know, I didn't like it. I had now turned from an emo, you know, metalhead, Warped Tour style, whatever stereotypical word you want to use, goth. I wasn't goth by my definition, but by, you know, a lot of people's definition I was. I went from that style to total peace-loving, Grateful Dead, Jimi Hendrix, pot-smoking hippie. And then I came to Lancaster where it's just all rap. And at the time I hated rap. And then I met Fusa, shout out Fusa, and shout out Kuhn, Chris Kuhn, my freaking homie. I love you guys. And I hated them when I first met them. Like, we got into fights a couple of times. We got into arguments, I should say. And now they're my best friends, you know, and it's just them and Marissa, and that's it. That's, you know, no one, everyone else is secondary to them. Sorry, but it's true, okay? You're just not as cool as them. I'm sorry, it's not my fault. It's your fault. But yeah, then, you know, 2013, that was fun. I moved from a school with 83 kids in my graduating class to 496, I think was the final amount of kids that I graduated with, so that was interesting. Oh, let's see, where are we now? Then I went to Lancaster for 2 years, and I stopped smoking cigarettes, which was awesome, because when I graduated in 2015, I stopped smoking cigarettes in 2015, because 2014 was just kind of a blur. I mean, I started making music with Fusa. I guess that's really important. That's when our friendship really started to like kick. That's when our business relationship really started. Like, we were friends like slightly before that, and our friendship was growing, but our like initial, like the twin studios, like that mentality, that started in 2014. So for those of you who know what that is now, in whatever year it is you're watching this, yeah, that started in 2014, because we got in a fight on a bus. Like, we got in an argument on the bus ride home, and yeah, then we ended up starting a company. 2015, I graduated, stopped smoking cigarettes, started vaping, and I stopped doing any prescriptions. I'm no longer on prescriptions. Shout out to everyone who is no longer on prescriptions, because you can cope with your reality and society without them. If you're still on them, I'm not judging you or blaming you. I'm just saying, like, it's really hard to, you know, be trained by people around you to that is the solution, you know, that you feel better when you when you take prescriptions, and that's the quick fix, you know. And when your psychiatrist says that, like, that's gonna help you, and then you move from that mentality to, no, I can help myself, that's a great thing, you know. It really is. And, you know, try it. I'm just saying. Who would have thought that, like, I can, you know, create my own happiness, and I can actually cope with reality on my own, because I didn't think I could, you know. I'm sure as hell it wasn't me that thought that. But anyway, let's see what else we got here. 2015, my mom moved out, So when we moved to Lancaster, my parents moved back together, okay? Like, they got divorced in a big home, and then they moved back together 2 years later in a tiny home. And that was chaotic and awful, so those 2 years weren't that good at my house. And then she got her own place, and props to her, because, you know, that was not easy for her at all, and she really pulled through to do that, and, you know, was really impressed. And then, that house was terrible, though. Like, seriously, the water damage alone was just, it haunts my nightmares. Like, when I hear this sound, it makes me cringe. I've had so many things broken because of that. Like, it was bad. 2015, I graduated, and then I got my first job at Save-A-Lot as a cashier and a stock person. You know, that was nice. It was very easy. I was making $9.75. Woo! And, that was fun, you know, and then I was making $10 an hour at an internship that for a company that my dad works for. He was higher up. I was just like, you know, receptionist essentially in the mailroom. I was just an intern, just scan documents, no big deal, nothing fancy. And that was 2015. I started that job too. So I was working 2 jobs, and then I went to school on top of it, and I did not have a car. I biked, and I rode the bus, and I walked everywhere that I needed to go. And Uber wasn't a thing in New York yet, so I didn't even have that option. Let alone I really didn't have the money, because I was spending a lot of my money on weed, which I really shouldn't have been doing. And then I was taking breaks off and on, and that was nice, but then when I would come back into it, I would just binge spend all my money, and now I'm living check to check. I didn't really, you know, my parents cover all my bills for me, thankfully, you know, very, very blessed for that, and I appreciate all the help that I've gotten with that. I know a lot of people don't get that. Very privileged in that sense. But yeah, then I would be like, I was literally like check to check. I had no money. If I skipped a check, I would have $0 and then be high and dry, and that would have really sucked. So I was really happy then when I would stop, because I would just bank all my money, and it was just, I finally had a comma in my bank account for the first time. Was it summer of 2016, and that was cool. But rewinding a little bit, February of 2016, I got fired, or I quit from Save-A-Lot. I'm not sure, really. I couldn't really tell you, because I told them, I'm like, I can't work these many hours. This is ridiculous. You got, you know, everyone else is working, you know, like 20, 25 hours, and I want to work like 20, 25 hours. I want to work like 15 hours. And they're like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And they were going to take care of the lifers versus the temporary people who work through college and school. You know, they're always going to take care of the lifers, because there'll always be more students. So the lifers are kind of hard to find. So they took care of the people who had been there for 4 years and are probably still working there, actually, before they were going to take care of me. And I understood that, you know, so I was just like, okay, fine. But then in April, I lost my job for my dad's company, because of the fact that the job position itself was terminated. They decided to upgrade the position to needing a degree and full-time hours only, so that they could get more done out of having, you know, this employee here, because they were like, okay, we want to upgrade this position. And I'm like, I can't do that. I'm in school, and I don't have a bachelor's in mechanical, so I can't fulfill that. So they're like, I'm sorry, we're letting you go. And I'm like, great, that's freaking fantastic. And everyone was upset. It made me so happy, because everyone came in and was like, oh, you're leaving. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I'm sorry. And it was awesome, because I just felt so loved in that moment, because they were upset that I was leaving. So that was nice. That was a fun job, but it also was very, very eye-opening. I still had that problem. I still had the same problem every day. When I was 13, I realized, you know, what is this path that I'm going on? And when I worked there, every time, you know, these people would come into my little office area, and they'd say, you know, it's a Monday, it's Wednesday, oh, the weather we're having. That was the extent of our conversations. Like, for most of the people I talked to, that was the extent of our conversations. And it just made me so sad. I'm like, your lives are boring. And I'm having my secondary midlife crisis on your behalf, because I'm watching all of you. Like, I'm like, how can you be happy every single day doing this? I can't, and I'm just an intern, you know. So I'm freaking out in my head, and I I kind of, on a rewind, I kind of gave myself until 23, to not really worry about this. I was 13, I gave myself until 23 because of the song 23 by Jimmy Eat World. If you haven't heard it, links in the description. I love that song. It makes me cry, but it's awesome. And yeah, it made me realize I'm going to be 23 one day and that I want to be a rock star, I want to be a famous musician, and I don't want to live this typical lifestyle that everyone else wants to live, and I don't want to do it. And everyone else is just like, yeah, but you need a plan B, and I'm like, yeah, well, I don't have one, so it's this or nothing. And they're like, what do you mean nothing? And I'm like, I mean nothing. Nothing else matters. And I gave myself till 23 to really like focus on it and just just give it my all. And if it doesn't end up working out, if it doesn't seem legitimate, if it doesn't seem logistical, then I'm gonna give up on it. And so far we're doing pretty good. And we're getting to present day, so give me a second here. But it's 2016 and I'm freaking out. I'm like, okay, you got time. You're how old was I? 19. You're 19. You have time. Don't worry about it. And then that summer hit, and that was a good summer. I had fun that summer. Nothing too crazy, nothing too extravagant so far. Then the fall hits, and now when the fall hits, fall of 2016, everything changed. Everything changed. I moved out of my dad's. I moved in with my mom and my little sister. Okay, and my older sister and my younger brother are still at my dad's. So it's 2 and 2 at both parents' houses. And that was nice for a little while. That was really nice. It was awesome. And this dawned the Manhattan Project, which I'm going to get into and I'll talk about for the rest of my life. And y'all know what that is if you don't already. Check it out in the descriptions and whatnot, and links. If there isn't a link here, there will be one day. But yeah, that's when it really started to pick up this idea of I really need to focus on getting my music out there and really just triple downing on everything. And business was just on my mind at that point. I'm like, okay, we gotta let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. And my mind just changed. Everything about my daily lifestyle started to shift in that fall, because I moved and it was game over. It's all or nothing now. I'm like, I don't have much time. I'm gonna be 20 soon, and that means I have 3 years left. And in my brain, I'm just freaking out. I'm like, I've done nothing. I knew this much, and now I know this much, right? And I still need to know this much to really get it done. And now I have 6 months. But we're getting there. Anyway, 2017 hit, and that was a year about learning. I learned everything I could. I wouldn't stop Googling. I would read articles, I would watch videos, blog posts, everything. I just kept consuming as much information that was non-schoolwork related information, right? You have your standard information, you would think a nerd or a geek understands, calculus. I know calculus. I can do that. I love it, actually. I'd talk to you for hours about calculus, but you'd probably get bored way before I would if we talked about calculus. But, I mean, seriously, I learned everything I could about business and creating your own business and making money, and I just kept learning. And then 2018 hit, and now somewhere in this era, my little sister moved out and moved back in with my dad, and then my mom was spending all of her time either at work or at her new boyfriend's house, and she would pretty much rarely ever come home. So now I have the whole house to myself, I really did. It was pretty much my house. I didn't have to pay any of the bills. Thank God I was blessed for that, But I did. I just had the house to myself for, I think, the end of 2017 and then the beginning of 2018. It was a solid year where I owned my own home without the repercussions of actually owning my own home. That was really awesome. And 2018 comes around, and now it's time to test. I learned all the information. I'm like, okay, now I need to see what works and what doesn't work. And I did everything I could. The only thing I really didn't do in 2018 that I wanted to do was publish my own book. I still haven't done that, and I really need to do that, but I'm waiting for that one. Because from what the research I have done, it'll be better if I wait and I already have an audience, so once the book comes out, I can send people who are willing to buy it and read it a link. So if you don't have the fan base, it's not really good to write the book. You kind of want the fan base before you write the book. So I'm just tweaking it. I still tweak it every day, and it's the Manhattan Project, it's this whole thing on a much more detailed scale. that 2016 mentality, when it shifted, that's everything that the Manhattan Project is about. Like, it's the best kept secret. Like, that's the joke. But yeah, 2018 was great. It was just all about testing. It really was. It was just all about testing things. But now I'm starting to get nervous, you know. Actually, as a rewind, 2017 was when I really started one of my major tests. I released my first album. I released Cogito, which actually at this moment, it isn't out at the moment because I learned that I should use DistroKid and not TuneCore. DistroKid's better. And I released it on TuneCore, and I shouldn't have. I should have done DistroKid. But I released it on TuneCore, and now I had to take it down, so it's not out right now, but definitely check it out. At one point, it'll be out again. But I released Cogito, and that was my first album. And I wrote that album in 1 month. I wrote that album in 1 month. It was September of 2017. I was going to school for psychology, and then I was minoring in digital music production, and I just started this minor, and I'm taking this course called sound synthesis, and we're just making like R2D2 noises, right? And oh my lord, it was so much fun for me to learn, but at the same time I was getting annoyed because I'm like, okay, but how do I publish my music? Say I already have my music. And then I asked the professor, and he has no idea. So I got super mad. Like, I got super mad. And I pretty much started skipping school now all the time because I spent all my time at home because I have my own home, you know, no one's there. And I'm spending all my time at home and no one's there, and I can just sit there and make all my music. And in 30 days, I wrote Cogito in one project file. I just opened a project file and I just kept going and letting it flow through the whole thing and just kind of pan out. And the funny part was that during most of that, I had an excruciating headache, right? Because like, I didn't spend time, you know, drinking water or, you know, maintaining my caffeine intakes or maintaining my own health in any way, shape, or form. Like, I would be tired, and it'd be at the end of the day after I just got off a bus for 2 hours, and I have a headache. And so like a decent majority of that album was written while I had a terrible headache, because I'd be sitting there for hours, and it hit a point where like, if the sound was worth the pain, then I kept it. If I was sitting there like with a headache, already frustrated, if it wasn't worth that frustration and that headache, if it wasn't like satisfying, then I would have deleted it, you know? And it was just kind of interesting that, you know, if you're in a good mood and you're writing music, anything can sound good. You can make a beat out of the most annoying noises when you're in a good mood, but when you're in a bad mood, it is really hard to find something that's worth still listening to, because all you want is silence when you have a headache, you know? All you want is just to not be in pain anymore and just feel better. And when you have something that's making your headache worse, right? I'm literally blasting music in my face with a excruciating headache, like squinting, trying to look at the screen because my eyes literally hurt trying to make this album. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's so awesome, because it was painful to make. Like, seriously. But yeah, 2018 comes around and it was great. You know, it was all about testing. It was all about running all those tests. So I learned everything in 2018, or I learned everything in 2017, and then 2018 came along, and I just had to test everything. I had to. The only thing I didn't run a test on was publishing a book, but you know, that's beside the point. I'm not ready to anyway. I'm glad I didn't. It would have been too soon. It would have been too early. But that was the only thing I didn't actually run a test on. That was on my list of things I know how to do. Was publish a book on Amazon and actually have a physical paperback copy of a book that I could sell to people. But everything else I did, you know, I opened my business. I now have an LLC. What else? I published like 8 albums that year. I finished Joey's album, Fusa's album. I got him to get an album out. We published that. Then I wrote another album to commemorate what an amazing year. In September, I dropped This Moment, Looks Like That, and I wrote that album in 30 days as well. And recorded that whole album. There was very little, I think some of the lyrics I stole from, you know, other projects, but like a very small amount, like maybe 2% of the entire album as a whole wasn't written in that month, you know. Oh, I also got My Potion out that year too. I dropped that in June. And that was awesome because that was an album I was working on for freaking years. So I'm glad that was finally finished. It's not finished and it never will be because I'm always working on my music. I'm always trying to like tweak it and find something more that I can add, you know? I want live versions, remastered versions, like alternative versions of the whole song. It's just like, why not, you know? I want to have like 10,000 songs on my Spotify profile, so when you go to listen to my whole discography, it's going to take you like 6 months to listen to everything. Like seriously, like that's the goal, is to have like the most songs, even if they're just like kind of almost duplicates of the other songs. I don't care. That's not, I'm not in it for other people to judge whether it's really the most songs. No, I want to have a ton of songs because I get paid on streams anyway, you know, and the more songs you have, the easier it is to get more streams. I'll only need like 4 or 5 people a year to listen to all of my music, to just listen to the whole discography, and then I'll get, you know, I'll have enough money to live off of if I just had those 4 or 5 super fans. You know, and that's one of the goals I'm trying to reach. And that's why My Potion is not really finished. It's a joke, but moving on. So 2018 was when I really started to freak out, because now I'm putting in all this effort and I'm not really getting a lot of results, you know, because it's not immediate. And I know it wasn't going to be immediate, and I'm, you know, just trying to stay motivated and stay positive about it all. And I just keep saying, you know, it won't be long, it won't be long. It might not be tomorrow, but it won't be long, you know. It might be in a year, but that's not really that long of a time, you know. Maybe 5 years max. That's not that long, really, when you think about it. And I just keep saying that to myself, you know, it won't be long. It's gonna happen eventually. Don't worry about it. Just keep pushing forward. Just keep putting in as much effort as you can. And you know, then I just started cutting things out of my life. You know, I stopped hanging out with my friends nearly as much. I stopped, you know, talking to people. I stopped talking to girls, for example. You know, that was a huge plus. Was I just, you know, you don't realize how much money you spend on a person until they're not there. And that's funny. But seriously, like, I stopped worrying about relationships and people. You know, I still stay in contact with my true friends, but I wasn't worried about going out and hanging out with them. I know that me and my 3 best friends, we're still gonna be best friends even if I don't go and hang out with them every single day for 4 hours, for 8 hours. You know, I haven't seen I haven't seen Marissa since like 2016. You know, it's been like a couple weeks since I saw Chris and Fusa, but before then it was like months. You know, like I rarely ever see them, but it's fine because I still text them and talk to them, and we could not see each other for years, and we'd pick up right where we left off. Like, it wouldn't be like awkward, you know? Whereas some of the other people I talk to would be like awkward. Like, I don't know. It'd feel like they're a new person. Because I'm also a new person. But anyway, you know, besides the point, 2019, it's all about like this new level stuff, because I switched majors from psychology to mechanical, and then I may have screwed over myself with my whole GPA situation, and now I have like a 192, so I got kicked out of school, and now I'm going to a different school, because like spring of 2019, I pretty much drank myself into a coma. Not legitimately into a coma. I just stopped going to school and really enjoyed vodka at 9 a.m. And yeah, I mean, like, I'm not even like that mad about it, because it's freaking awesome to wake up at 9 in the morning and just go have a glass of vodka and, you know, smoke some weed and go make a beat. That was freaking awesome. That was a great year. But I mean, I was paying to go to school during that year, so that was a waste of money. Yeah, that was a very expensive glass of vodka there, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Don't drink, kids, because it's fun. But I mean, then I got rid of that. It slowed down. And then in June 18th was the last drink I had, 2019. And then August something was the last time I smoked. And then I quit vaping. Actually, yeah, I quit vaping right after that. So now I don't do anything but caffeine. And the amount of work I've done since August is so impressive to myself, right? I don't really care what other people think. I just care about my own opinions of my own self, because that's all that, at the end of the day, that's all that needs to matter to me, right? I appreciate and respect feedback, you know, but at the end of the day, it's my opinion of myself that truly matters. So that's what I focus mostly on. And when I look at the things I've done in just the last 3 months, it's so exponential, it's ridiculous. Now doing this video and really realizing it, like, I could have been here years ago, you know, years ago. I could have been where I am right now. And I just wasn't, because I was just, something else was more important. And in 2019, I just started to cut things out. I just started to change everything. It was just like, all right, now we learned, you know, we learned in 2017, we tested in 2018, and in 2019, we optimized. I cleaned up. Literally, I cleaned up. My room, I downgraded to a minimalistic mentality, you know. I moved out of my mom's, there was some other drama that went on, and I moved back into my dad's, and, you know, none of that's really that important to the grand story. The point is that now I'm back in my dad's, where I started in 2013, just a different bedroom. But now I have money and mental stability, which are the two most important things you need when you're trying to succeed. And seriously, because like the very camera I'm making this on, with the lens, with the microphone, I'm not even counting the tripod, because my dad is loaning me this tripod, but that's probably like $100 tripod, to be honest. With this light that I have right here, that I literally have suspended from the ceiling, because I just tied some string to it, because, you know, why not? And yeah, I mean, with all that alone, that was a $900, $1,000 setup. Not to mention all my other gear, which I mentioned in the last vlog. And like, seriously, I have the money to do that now. And it was nice to be able to actually get that gear. And now I don't really have to worry about getting any. I only have a few more things on my list. I mentioned a lot of more things on my list in the last video, but in all reality, like, I'm just gonna get a microphone, like a nice broadcast microphone, because I really don't like the sound quality of this video. The mic on this is nice, that Micro Rode, or the Rode Micro, whatever. Rode Video Micro, that's what it is. It's nice, but I'm 6 feet away from this lens right now, so it's not all that great. And it'd be great, you know, for the field and everything when I'm outside and when I'm working anywhere but the studio. But right now I'm in my bedroom, the studio, and I need to have a little bit better of a studio setup. So I'm going to get a microphone. It's like a $400 microphone setup, and that would be nice to have. It would, you know, slightly better audio quality, and then I could do voiceovers to other stuff, and, you know, sing and rap and record instruments a little bit better into my music, and that, it'll be a good investment. Other than that, drone footage, because I want some awesome and epic B-roll. And then other than that, I just need money to maintain Gemini, and then I just need money to really, like, pay for gas, and then food, because 2020, I just want to spend as much time as I can traveling. Like, all my excess money, all my excess cash, it's going to be moving around and traveling, and this is just going to be a very travel-based mentality, because that's what I want to do. You know, I want to get paid to travel. I want to get paid to make music. This one YouTuber made a comment about it. He's just like, I make music for free. I get paid to sit on an airplane and lug all my gear around, and I get paid to set it up and tear it down, and then set it up and tear it down every other night. That's what I get paid to do. But I make the music and I perform for free. And I love that. You know, I make videos for free. I don't get paid for YouTube yet. I'm still working on that. I'm really trying to hit that 1,000 subscribers by May. So please, especially if you've gotten this far in the video, please subscribe. Send the video to someone else. Get someone else to subscribe for me, please. I need to hit that 1,000 as soon as possible. Like, I really do. I'm really working hard to get that 1,000 subs. And I appreciate the 130 of you who I have right now. And that was the other thing. I wanted to end with, like, where I am right now. I think I have like $1,000 to my name total, probably, if I, you know, add it up from all my cash on hand and what's in my bank account, and then like what's in Robinhood. I think I have like $1,000, give or take. I'm working at Tim Hortons at the moment because I quit KFC. I didn't mention that, but I did. And I mean, yeah, there's a lot of other details that I skipped over that, are kind of important, but they're not. I wanted to kind of wrap this up really fast towards the end here and kind of accelerate the story because 8 years ago, 7 years ago, those were really impactful moments, The 2016 era, like that really changed a lot. 2017 really changed a lot, and 2018 did too, but not a lot happened. Like, a lot changed in my head, a lot changed around me, but not a lot of results came from it. And now I'm hitting into 2020, and I'm going to be 23, and my 10-year limit is going to be up, but I don't think I'm going to quit. I think I'm going to keep going, and I think I'm going to push even harder than I was before, and I'm just going to turn this into a travel type of mentality because that's what I want to do. I'm totally fine with having a shack of a house because I only want to sleep there 2 nights a year. Like, I'm serious. And I just want to live on the road and do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it, and stay up for 36 hours in a day and be able to have a glass of vodka at 9 o'clock in the morning and make a beat while I smoke some weed. Like, I want to be able to do that again, and in order to get to that point, I need to make this profitable. So I've cut out and optimized everything I can. Like, I threw away so much garbage. I've been waiting to say it, but I can't really say it yet. I almost only wear only my own merch. I almost only wear only my own merch. Yeah. But I'm getting there, Like, I downgraded my wardrobe a lot. Like, I downgraded it a lot, where it's, like, most of my t-shirts. I probably have, like, 20 t-shirts in there now, and I had, like, 100. Like, I literally had, like, 100 t-shirts, because I love band t-shirts and graphic design on t-shirts. That's why I have Gemini, And, like, I wanted that, and it's just, it's been difficult to really downgrade it, and then just look at that empty closet. It's been difficult to look at that and just be like, wow, I can't believe all the time I wasted, It's easy now. I love it now. It's just like, just thinking back, like, wow, I should have done this a while ago. Wow. If I would have, threw away all my garbage in 2015 when I graduated high school, if I would have thrown away all my garbage, if I would have, bought a camera and quit everything except for caffeine, like I said, and really organized my room, I would be exactly where I want to be right now. Which means, at this rate, that means it's probably going to take me 4 years to really get to where I want to go. But, I don't know. The plan is, right now, I'm waiting for my little sister to graduate. She's going to graduate in 22, and then I'm moving. Her and I are going to go find a house together and just hang out and just, make music and live our lives and, hopefully enjoy the times. Probably Colorado or California. I don't know yet. Well, maybe we'll be on the road for a little while. Who knows? Who knows? At the end of the day, I need this to be profitable so I can really afford to do so. But, I took this semester off. I'm not in school for 2019. Because spring of 2019, I didn't go to school. I just didn't show up, and I dropped. And then fall of 2019, I just worked full time. And now I'm going back to school 2020. I'm going to, get the degree in psychology because I'm almost done. I really don't have much left to do, so I'm just going to get the degree in psychology and hopefully be able to land a better job than, Tim Hortons and other fast food places. And, then I'll make the money from there and hopefully be able to reinvest that into the business because, I got the camera. This is just the EOS, what was it, Rebel 2, SO2. And then, I want the 80D. Everyone wants the 80D, like, let's be real. I want the micro, or the Video Pro, or Rode Pro microphone. I got the micro. It's just like, so there's some room there. I want that drone. I want a bunch of other toys and gadgets. But at the end of the day, I just need to maintain Gemini, maintain regular, standard of living bills, and then just get a microphone and a drone, and that's it. That's like all that's on my list right now. And once that's done, I mean, shit, dude, that's it. Like, I'm already making $50 a month on music right now. I only have like $1,000 in my account, like I mentioned, so I'm not really saving a lot. I don't have all this other, I don't have like a Roth IRA or a 401k. I don't have any of that stuff, so I gotta figure that stuff out and start really planning for the future more and more. But I wanted to say that because, you know, in 10 years from now, maybe even 5 years from now, I'll do a 5 years from now video, or 5 years ago video, I guess. And then I'm going to probably cite some footage from this. And then 10 years from now, it's going to be interesting because I'm going to look back. I'm going to be like, 10 years ago, I had $1,000 in my bank account. And I was living at my dad's, and I didn't graduate yet. And I was 22 years old. And I just wanted to be a musician and travel the world and, you know, be a professional YouTuber. And then hopefully I'll be like, and now I am, you know. That's the goal. But who knows, you know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just get stuck at some dead-end job like everyone else does. But I don't know. I don't think that I will. It really depends on the viewers. It depends on whether I'm good enough at this point. Now it just depends on the content. If the content's not good enough, then people aren't just going to watch it. You know, they're just going to click away. So hopefully the content's good enough. Now, I have like freaking 40 minutes of video to edit on this, plus some of the other footage that I got to record. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's all on me. I don't even want to end this video. I'm kind of scared because once I end it, now it's real. And it's just interesting to think about. Because then I'm going to click that button and it's going to be over. The video's ended and now I have to actually edit the video and post the video. And then everyone can see it. And that's a little nerve-wracking because there's a lot of things in this video that some people just don't know about me. Like, some people didn't know that I was inpatient. You know, some people didn't know that I have, like, serious drug addiction problems. And I freaking think it's awesome. And, you know, I care more about music now than I, you know, do about, you know, experience on medications and whatnot. And that was a difficult challenge, you know. I mean, I just think about it, you know, when was the last time I put something in front of my music or my vlog, and every time I put something before it, if it's not family, then I'm making a mistake, and that's kind of how I see it. If I can't justify my, like, I'll go to school, and it's just like, before I would go to school and it'd be like, this just felt wrong. Because I felt like I was, you know, shitting on my dream. Where now I'm going to school and I'm just like, no, this is so that I can quit Tim Hortons and quit fast food altogether and never have to work one of those jobs again. And then be able to take the money from that job and reinvest it back into the business until this is profitable. Because now I actually have the mindset like, this is real. This is happening. And I think that was the biggest thing that happened in this decade. Like, if I were to sum it all up and wrap it all up, it's just like, in the last 10 years, I moved 5 times. My parents got divorced, got back together, and then split again. I, you know, developed an addiction, got over those developed addictions, got over those addictions. Let's see, you know, got depressed about my life like several times because I feel like this is never going to work out. And now it's actually starting to work out. And it's a little scary. And yeah, now I'm at that point where I'm wondering what the 2020 is going to bring. Because it's going to be good or bad, I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to it. You know, this time next year, I'm going to watch this video. And hopefully I cry. Because that'll be a good thing. If I sit there and just stare at the screen wide-eyed, that means I didn't do anything. Nothing changed. I'm in the same spot. But if I cry, then I did a good job. That means like I'm looking at it like, wow, you poor little nervous piece of shit, sitting there in your bedroom thinking that, you know, what if? And now and hopefully, you know, today's the 27th. I don't know what day I'm gonna end up posting this, but you know, I don't want to do it all, but I don't want to do the alternative, and it's scary now, because now it's all on me, and that's just how I feel. And my vibe just died, because I just realized that this is a 40-minute long video, and I really don't want to edit it all. But I'm probably going to keep most of it all in here, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't know what else there was to say other than please subscribe and hit the notification bell and like the video and comment. Please comment. I love when people comment, especially because I only have like 130 subscribers. Oh, that was how I wanted to end it. I wanted to talk about everything that I have right now, you know. I still have a broken MacBook. I still have, you know, this camera, which you know about from the last video, but I already mentioned like 4 times I only have like $1,000 to my name right now. I'm going back to school, and now I'm taking out loans to do so, because I already blew through all my fund money, because I'm privileged and got fund money. Yeah, go ahead, you can hate. I hate on myself because I threw it away. But yeah, now I'm going to be like $3,000 in debt starting out. I know, a lot of you are like freaking out because you just graduated and are just like, wow, this guy, he got, you know, fund money and treated it like fun money and blew it away, and you know, I'm already in debt this much and he's worried about $3,000. Well, yeah, I'm worried about $3,000. I mean, yeah, you were worried about $3,000 when you started too, I hope. Because I mean, that $3,000 turns into $20,000 real quick, you know. And I'm just worried about it. But yeah, I'm gonna graduate and hopefully move out of New York, because I really don't enjoy Buffalo. Like, it's not bad, I just know there's better places. And yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited, even though I seem really nervous right now, because I actually am, because it's weird. It's kind of all hitting me. Like, I knew what I was doing, and I was kind of just taking it week by week. But now really thinking about it in a 10-year scale, it's just like, yeah, wow, 10 years ago I looked like this. Like, whoa. 2020 is going to be crazy, and I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I really am. But yeah, thanks for watching all the way through. I appreciate you. I'm kind of curious what you're waiting for. Like, I already said everything. Come on, man. Like, just click away. Stop watching. I mean, fine, I'll do it.